so that's a cost savings to us because we don't have to go out and hire a director. We can actually utilize or use that director, and that director can help us out and really advancing our curriculum much quicker than ever before, and aligning it so that you have less issues where kids go to the high school and they're on the honor roll, and then all of a sudden they're not on the honor roll. And we're wondering, why are they not on the honor roll? Right? Or my kids were doing homework, now they're not completing their homework. They were getting an A, now they're getting an F. Why are they getting an F? We used to include the homework. And so those are some of the things that we're having the conversations around. How can we align it better? So it's a consolidation of what we're trying to do. Then the continuity of instruction really goes hand in hand with that. So for us, the continuity is in the grade centers specifically. We're going to be able to work at every grade level because all of the teachers for that grade level will be in the building. One of the biggest complaints I hear from our staff is we don't have time to align, between the two buildings, we don't have time to align our curriculum. I think it's going to go away because they're all going to be in the same building. They're going to be able to align their curriculum in the building. We've actually devised a schedule, an end time, that's going to give them some time to align. Same can be said for 5 through 8. We're going to be able to align the curriculum as well as some of the practices, homework being one of those practices. The curriculum review cycle, which I think has just been phenomenal for us. So we're already in our second year of the curriculum review. We've taken a look at our special ed programs. We're finding that it's more conducive to bring kids back, which we're doing. We're going to be able to bring more kids back in the future because we're actually going to have space, and that's something that this board or the new board is going to take a look at. And so I'm very happy to say that it's been pretty successful, and we report quite regularly at our board meetings. Not the last 3, but we have our teachers present on a lot of their practices and what they're doing. Articulation, we've been working more with the high school. In fact, we meet once a month. We meet once a month. And so my understanding is that's never taken place prior to us being here, which is phenomenal. It speaks to their leadership, it speaks to our leadership, it speaks to our board, it speaks to their board, as well as union grade. So the 3 of us are meeting, and we're making sure that we have continuity. And then continuous improvement practices, and this is one of mine pet peeves, is no math problem left behind. For many of you who have students, you know how difficult it is to do math. I have a youngster, he comes home, and he's frustrated all the time. I did quantum mechanics. I can't even spell that anymore. I did quantum mechanics, I know my math, I can barely help my child. Math needs to be in the building, it needs to be done with the teacher, with the professional, and kids should be not going home with math problems. If they want to do supplementary program or problems, that's fine, but they need to do the math in the building because the way we're teaching math is slightly different from the way we taught it in the past. And so we want that continuous improvement to take place. And then special ed, as I've spoken to earlier, we're going to have a special ed teacher dedicated to each grade level. So there's one special ed teacher at the K, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8, as well as our special ed classrooms. And so, and by the way, these programs are at no cost. There's no additional cost. So we did not have to add for special. We did not have to add special ed teachers. We already had that number of special ed teachers. That's not to say that we might not have to add one in the future, because there's very little I can do when it comes to special ed. I can't deny a child those services. That's not permissible. And so right now we have those teachers that are in place. Same can be said for the continuous improvement, the articulation, the curriculum review. These are at no cost. It's just revamping what we're doing, rethinking what we're doing. So with that being said, I was going to leave it open for any questions. Please. If you could state your name for the record, because this is a committee meeting, so and we're doing the presentation of the committee meeting. We have sign-in sheets. Okay. We have a sign-in sheet, so if you want to sign in, that'd be great. And if you want to speak, you can sign right below. So yes, so Tim, go ahead.
Tim Ludston. I just want to be very clear. You had mentioned not increasing the class sizes. Am I understanding that you're adding that special education in for the average of the classes, and our classrooms are not going to go over 25 kids per class?
I'm putting yes, exactly. I'm putting the special ed teacher into the classroom. So let's just say you had first grade and there were 5. I moved over here so I can, because it's awkward. I'm not trying to wait. So we have currently at first grade, I'm going to say 5 regular ed teachers. We have 1 special ed teacher. So you have 6 teachers. And it's all service based. I think in our heads we've always been conditioned to believe that those 5 classes should always stay the same. With the flexible scheduling, that special ed teacher is going to act as an addition to that class, that grade level. So you'll have 6. That would be average to keep it below the 25. So we're still at 25. With the 6th special ed teacher, you're actually lower on average than the 25, which is similar, if not the same, as your current class sizes. And keep in mind, Lee has different class sizes than Giles. Giles has much larger class sizes on average. Lee has much smaller class sizes on average. So combined, so I could put it in the context, if you have the 6 teachers, I'll put it over here, but if you have those 6 teachers, on average, you're going to be lower than the 25. Yes?
You give us a couple examples of operating cost and facility cost. You separated the 2 up there.
Yes. So they're entirely different. So governmental accounting, as you can imagine, is complex. It's not as clear cut as people make it out to be. It's managerial accounting and financial accounting. Those are 2 different worlds, right? And I've had CEOs or CFOs that work in the corporate sector that say, I have no clue what governmental accounting is. It makes no sense. I didn't create the system, I work in it. So when you're talking about building-based issues, you have a separate pot of money that is dedicated to building-based issues. You can't take building-based monies and put it into educational purposes, which is your operating. So your building-based issues, your non-operating, cannot be mixed in with your operating. So for example, an operating would be your art teacher or your art programs. It would be physical education. It would be computers for the classrooms, which can sometimes go into your building based. But it'd be computers for the classrooms. It would be books, supplies, classroom supplies, materials, so on and so forth. So those are all operating. Your non-operating or building would be the doors, the windows, the roofs, facility, exactly. And so what we decided is we are not going to move forward and put 2 questions on the ballot. We decided we're going to go with 1. Because that's what the committee believed would be best for to build momentum for the school district. Now the past referendum commingled. It was both.
Right.
So we put both into 1 question and put it into an operating increase. And so it was put into 1 question as opposed to 2 separate. So what we've done is we've actually pulled them out, which is similar to what the high school did. The high school did 2. So we're doing it exactly how the high school did in the past. Yes.
So, is there anywhere like online or anything like projections once the grade centers happen, what the classroom sizes are?
We'll be at the April 18th meeting. We're gonna more or less have a schematic that we're gonna put up online to give people an idea. And the last time I checked, it was a 1/3 grade class was slightly greater than the 25. Was slightly greater. And so the next board will have to make a decision. Do we want to add an additional teacher? Do we want to add an additional special ed teacher, regular ed teacher? So that's one of the decisions they're going to have to make if they want to be below that. But right now we're at 28 for 3rd grade only. All the other grades are at 25 or less. And then if you add the flex scheduling, it can change even more because kids could be moving. And so it's going to take, and keep in mind, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen in the first year. I mean, we still have to build the climate and culture in the grade centers. Climate and culture is the most important. We need to be very positive that you're coming into a building that typically is not your normal environment. And so we have to build that climate and culture, and we have to be very positive. But it'll take a little time to get to a full-blown model where we'll have pure flexibility. Yes?
So under the current plans, if you mentioned the referendum, if it passes or doesn't pass or whatever, there's nothing in place as far as the security issues at Giles with walking into that's planned.
We have no monies dedicated for security, so we're dealing with what we have. So right now we're planning on what we have. Circumstances can change, and we'll adjust according to circumstances. Sure.
Frank Trabuzio. I just wanted to, having looked at Illinois Report Card websites, there's more stats that work in conjunction with what was one of the slides earlier, and it was a bit frightening what was found. So the state average is $12,821 spent per student. The Norwich District 80 is spending $10,145. That's $2,676 less than the state average. So from 2012, and there's no more current figure, high poverty, high minority districts throughout Illinois, their average spent per student is $10,874. That's $729 more than what District 80 is spending per student. And then what further makes this a problem is, while $10,145 per student in District 80 is the figure, the revenue received, actually collected and spent per student, is $9,382. So that's negative $763, which explains the deficit spending, or explains the position where things would have to be cut, or things would, from last year, were just what do you cut? So if that doesn't shock you a bit, it should. And these are all verifiable. This isn't a number to grab out of the air.
Thank you for sharing that knowledge.
Thank you.
Any other questions out there?
Comments? Okay, thank you. And so you know, this presentation we always put it online. Yep. So it'll be on Monday. We'll put it online so you can access it and share as you shall choose. And you could always ask Dr. O'Malley. That's another. You can go to my website or the Norwich School District 80 website, and you can go to the Ask Dr. O'Malley section and you can pose a question. You have to give your information, and I do get back to everyone. Not as quick as I'd like to, but I get back to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for your participation, and hopefully this will fulfill your knowledge that you want to know about our district situation, financial situation, and answers a lot of your questions. And like he said, he's available. As a board, we're available as well too. Let us know any questions you may have. We'll answer them to the best of our abilities. We have water and cake, so please feel free to use to take some and eat some breakfast if you have not. And again, thank you for your participation. This is fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,